Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of NTI PodTalk. My name is Diane Kaler. I'm the director of NTI. And today we have with us Haley Peck from Nourish Natural Foods. And Haley is our first NFC graduate to be doing the NTI PodTalk. So this is a good shift for us. To have an NFC grad to talk about our NFC program. So I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. The first question I have for you is, well, first of all, when did you graduate from our NFC program? And then I also wanted to kind of find out what made you choose NTI and how did you find out about our NFC program? What made you choose our program?
Yeah, so I graduated in 2017. And before I even knew NTI existed, I had started a grad program from an online university in Nutrition and Integrative Health. I had studied public health and I just got really interested in the nutrition side of things. And then, throughout that program, as I'm learning and, exploring all these different sides of nutrition that I didn't know existed, I became really intrigued. It kind of changed my vision in the kitchen. Already a big foodie, I guess you could say, my whole life. And so I kind of took it as like a time to really explore in the kitchen. And that's where I was sort of like, I want to dive deeper into all of this and just, there's so much out there. I feel like I still need to know and learn, and just started talking to people and doing some research online. And when I saw the NFC program, I was like, this is exactly what I want to be, and it just looked perfect. So I was in Boston at the time and I flew out to Denver and I started the program and was able to keep doing my program, at my own pace online. So it just worked out really well for me where I could kind of do both.
Mm-hmm. So I didn't realize that. So you were not local and you moved here purposefully to do this program. That actually happens relatively frequently for our students. So I'm glad to hear that worked out for you. Now, are you still in Denver or have you? Yeah. So you're still in the area. So you liked it and you stayed.
I stayed, I had some friends and family out here that, made it more comfortable to do the move. But I had a feeling once I first came out here, I wasn't going to want to go.
So. Yeah. Well, good. All right. Nice. Okay, so why don't you talk about what you're doing now after graduation and maybe if there's been a progression to what you're doing, talk a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, so I took some time after I graduated from the program and I was doing a little bit of, personal chefing on the side here and there, sort of dipping my feet into the real world of all of this. Mm-hmm. And then 2019, I decided to really do something and start Nourish Natural Foods, which the goal was to be able to provide just clean and wholesome meals that are, whole foods that are nourishing and healing and cooked, ways that I had learned throughout the program, mm-hmm. To families that are just busy and don't have time to really, do that on their own. And so that's kind of was where Nourish Natural Foods started. Meal prep, and then we would, deliver or a pickup sort of situation. And then over the past few months, it's really started to evolve a bit, where, my passion for the more individualized approach sort of started peaking, and I was talking to more people about just, certain health issues or, people who are sick that really needed this individualized approach. And I'm like, I've got the background. This is kind of where my passion really is at. Mm-hmm. And I think, I love doing the meal prep as well because it allows me to reach a bigger crowd. But this, sort of just sparked something else in me where I was like, this is really, why I started all of this, to really help people in that way. And then, just showing them that you can eat really good food, that doesn't have all of this inflammatory and junk in it. It mm-hmm. can taste really good. And so, yeah, that's we're leaning more towards the personal chef approach right now, but I still have some small group meal prep going on as well.
I see. Okay. And so you said you have people who work for you or work with you, or?
So I have some chefs that come and go kind of like when I need them, but it's really me for the most part.
Yeah.
I feel like I've had some NTI and NFC grads help me out here and there. So I'm trying to build more of a, just backup chefs and a little community there too. So.
Right. Yeah. Okay, good. Well, good. So it sounds like it's been successful. You're finding reward from it, both probably emotionally and mentally, as well as financially. So that's good. So do you have a specific type of cuisine, or does that really come into play in your personal chefing?
It just kind of comes into play. I mean, it's really allowed me to play around there where, I found there are specific cuisines that I think are easier to use alternative types of foods that and just play around with more. Like I find that Mexican and Indian dishes are like curries are just so, broad. You can do so much with that. And I feel like I could cook a different curry every week and it's a whole different experience.
Interesting. Yeah.
And you can really add in so many herbs and spices and nourishing things there that, it's fun for me to get creative and take, that the stuff I've learned with nutrition and blend it with, different cuisines. And then, that's really where the passion comes from. So I don't really focus on one cuisine. I like to kind of pick and play with different cuisines.
Right. Yeah. I can see how certainly Indian, but also Mexican, Latin type, as they are so there's so much use of different herbs in those cuisines and things that are not necessarily commonly used in the standard American diet, for sure. And herbs have such wonderful health benefits, so anti-inflammatory. Always, in all cases, herbs are always anti-inflammatory. So that's really wonderful.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad you figured out how to bring those two things together.
Right.
So, many students who are interested in the program, they're always looking for other viewpoints and just bits of information to help them make a decision on whether or not they want to actually come and partake in our program. And then once someone who does make a decision, they want to come and do the NFC program, they still, have questions and concerns and things come up. So do you have any advice or words of wisdom or just like things to say to prospective students and future students who are interested in cooking and specifically looking at our program?
Yeah, I mean, I remember having the same, back and forth of, do I really need to, I felt like at one point I was telling myself a lot of this is easily self-taught, or because I started with a nutrition background that, it'll be repetitive, but there was just so much that you can't Google, that you can't just like find online. And having, just that community of people there that are, you're kind of exploring with them and learning with them was just like something that I don't think I could get anywhere else. And just the amount of information that you get, you just dive so deep into these different areas that I didn't know existed, where I thought I did have a good, idea, having started that program and just coming from that background. So even if you don't know anything about nutrition and you start, I feel like the door opens. And then it's interesting because it's sort of like what, at least the program that I was in, I remember like, if one particular thing interested you, you can do what you want with, I could have delved way deeper into like celiac cooking or, paleo, you pick what your passions are and you can kind of really dive deep there. So I think it
Right.
was a great combination of everything I needed.
Yeah. Well, I like how you say that initially, when you were thinking about cooking, you thought it was something that could be self-taught, and you could Google everything and watch YouTube videos and learn. And there really is a skill or a set of skills that can only be learned by doing a concentrated educational program. And I think, one thing we talk about a lot about the NFC program is it's transformational. It's very much, people change throughout the program because they are learning new things, they're learning new ways to cook for themselves, for others. And it just, as you say, opens up so many different opportunities and so many different thought processes and all kinds of stuff. So I'm glad to hear you say that, and that that's what you found to be true. All right, well, where can people find out about you? What's your tell
So
us?
yeah, I mean, you can definitely learn more about me on my website. It's www.nourishnf for naturalfoods.com. And then I'm on Instagram as well. I'm trying to be more active on it. And, post some recipes, inspirational stuff like that. So yeah, those are really the main two places.
Yeah. Okay, good. Well, so do you take pictures of all the things that you make and post them on Instagram? Yeah, you like to do that?
It's hard when there's so much. I cook so much in a week that I'm like, I should be posting way more photos, but I've been getting better at setting a time, aside time to do it. So I'm increasing that too. I think people like to see what I'm doing, and just even following other people, I can see, where you get inspiration there.
Right. Yeah. Well, I personally am not a consistent social media user either. So I can imagine it's challenging to, all the other things you have to think about in a day, and now you got to think about how to get your posts done on a daily basis. But it's a great way to get your message out there and have your images out there to show the beautiful food that you're preparing and get people interested in wanting you to cook for them. So that's great. Yep. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. I think current NFC students, incoming NFC students, and prospective students who are still trying to make the decision if they want to take the course or the program, will get some good insight from this. So thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and have a great day.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yep, you're welcome. Thanks.